the simplicity of the story. It dealt with such a big problem that's sometimes hard to tackle and grasp onto. But the idea of doing a mother-daughter story that seemingly takes place over 4 days in 1 to 2 locations, to me grounded the vastness of the opioid crisis. And so I think I was actually very much drawn to the appeal of working with, well, Glenn Close, and having just that like back and forth of a two-hander and exploring that aspect of it. It's really fun to kind of like do something so outside the norm and explore with like it itself. And I think when the teeth were molded and you go see like the best special effects guy who makes the most beautiful meth teeth. It sounds so weird to say, but you put it on and you're like, well, this is fun to play with. And then you have to be able to teach yourself to speak with this mouth and not sound like you're lisping because you have like all this, new tools inside of there. So that was actually really fun for the kids and me to walk around the house with this weird meth mouth. And then, the physicality of it, you have to look like a heroin addict. And so you kind of, do that visibly. And then if I found a photo, somebody emailed me the photo. And it was in an article of before and afters of drug addicts and like what they look like when they were put into rehab and then a year later and the transformation. And, it's a beautiful article. And there was a young girl who had a very similar hairdo. And I spoke to Rodrigo. I think I emailed you and I was like, I think I want to do this. And this was maybe like a week before production started. It was very close to the beginning of production. And it didn't, it felt like the character needed one more element. And he was like, okay. Like he didn't question it. He didn't say anything. And I was like, all right, awesome. And then the funny part was finding a hairstylist in Los Angeles that was willing to ruin your hair on purpose was maybe the most complicated, difficult part of this whole process, was telling hair people, no, make it look bad. And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, cool, next. So that was probably the hardest one. And then as far as like character goes, I think, you kind of have fun with the character. You learn, you figure it out, you explore the whys. And you spoke to Libby, I spoke to Amanda on the phone. It was really interesting speaking to her, but I think more the character came out of just like your own personal exploration of people.